Good morning, Brenda. How are you doing this morning, Brenda? Hope good, I hope. A minute, I gotta put a sunscreen up over here. Okay. Hey, Justin, how's it going?
Uh,
Another day, another day, another day. I went and did a ship this morning right at dawn. Chilly. It was only 6 degrees out, but I got it edited. It's up on online now.
American Trade reporting about 0 minutes above like 7. There's no report of that.
So how are you doing, Justin?
oh, I'm doing good.
How's the bus riding going?
It's going good.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, it's easy work and it's good benefits and everything. So,
Yeah, good, good, good.
I mean, the biggest thing is I don't have to pay for healthcare. It's free,
Sure.
which is not something that you get at most jobs. Even real good paying jobs, you don't usually get free healthcare. You usually got to pay something.
No, and
Yeah.
usually there's like a 6 month or a year in between by the time you get hired to the time they,
Allow you to use it. Yeah, most of the places like 90 days to 6 months.
yeah. Good morning, Waypoint. Good morning, Frank.
Up everybody. I think Brenda's in there too.
Frank's in the chat, and so is Jody.
What's up, guys?
And the first one, of course, was my dear friend from Florida, Brenda Sunstar.
Yep. Um, yeah, it's a good job.
So how's the gaming going? Good?
Yeah, just went from upgraded my RAM on my computer, went from 32 to 64 gigs.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, just a lot of the stuff I'm using is a little bit more resource hungry. So I've noticed I tested everything before I changed it out, and oh, it's made a huge difference in performance. So
Well, good.
it's taking a
I
lot more
you know,
load
I'm
off the
not that
CPU.
technical as you guys are.
Well, RAM was originally, yeah, since I changed it. It's taken a lot of the load off, so seems to be running a lot smoother now. Like I even noticed with Zoom because Zoom was really resource hungry on memory and CPU usage, and it's gone way way down since I put that in there.
Really? Here comes
Well,
my
yeah,
favorite West Coaster, Lance Cardena.
like yesterday I was at 40% usage when I was on Zoom testing it, and then today I went back on there and I'm only at like 10% use. So. And it was really weird too. I put the RAM in last night, went into the BIOS to change the mess with the speed on it. And it won't turn back on and go back into safe mode unless I remove 2 of the sticks. Never had that happen before. It's kind of weird.
But you brought a drone?
Nah. I upgraded my RAM from 32 to 64 last night.
Okay.
But I used all.
When you said sticks, I said, what you did? What?
No, I used all 4 slots. I did 4 16 gig cards. But I went to go change the speed and it won't go back into safe mode unless I remove 2 of the sticks. Like I said, I've never had that happen before.
Morning,
Kinda
guys.
weird.
It will not, Lance.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
No,
I try to start the app before I start my car. You can see it at the top of my car.
Okay, here's a question I have. Maybe you know this, Justin. Is I can't seem to make anybody a co-host.
Are you host?
I don't, when I click me, it gives me view my profile, mute my audio, stop the video.
Check participants. You might have made somebody host by accident.
There's no participants, up there.
No, it should be at the bottom of your screen.
Paul Murray is the host.
I don't know then. Not entirely sure why I'd be doing that. The person to ask would be David if he's around, Birdman David, because he uses Zoom a lot more than I do. I rarely use it, so I'm not entirely sure why I'd be doing that. Because usually you only get those options if you're not a host or co-host. It will only give you your options. But if you're clicking on the 3 dots on everybody and it's not giving you that option, I don't know why.
Okay, it just did, it changed.
Okay.
So Lance, how are you doing with your drone?
Good.
You know, now you understand why, Joe says that
It's the worst ever.
the Neo is the best drone ever, right? Right, Joe?
The worst.
Have you
I
looked
love
into have you looked into just sending it back to DJI and telling them it's not working and see if they send you another one?
No, it works. It just don't work well.
Well, tell them the sensors are fucked up. And send it in and
You
have
can
them
tell
send
me
you
no,
another
it's
one.
not made for the dark. Live from Studio B, Tech Time with Paul Murray. I got my hat on.
Now, if you
There
tell
you
them,
go.
if you tell them you're flying it outside and you simply fly it under a tree and it wigs out, then tell them that it's not flying right and just send it in.
Yep.
Because I mean,
Well, what is the saying, Justin? Straighten up and fly right?
because you have a case to be made there. I mean, you said you were connected to 17 satellites. You were
Yep.
outside. You went under a tree, just flew under a little tree, and it fucked it up. So I'd send it back and see if they send you another one. See if you have the same problem.
You have a controller, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Do you fly it with the controller? Do you fly it with your phone? What do you normally fly it with?
Yeah, I fly with the controller, and then I fly it with the motion control 3 with the goggles 3.
Okay. Never the phone?
I flew it with the phone in here one time, and it went up to attitude mode and flew into my chair.
Okay.
Morning, Brenda.
I'm loving the resolution on that thing. people were complaining about the camera quality. My goodness, it's awesome for
You
the
haven't-
price.
You haven't flown it fast yet.
Yeah, I haven't.
What you doing?
I've just flown it. In fact, I've only flown it in follow mode. That's all I've done so far.
Yeah, when it's not moving fast, it doesn't do bad.
Okay, it's too foggy, I think, to go north.
We got a notice, urgent community policy reminder. It says they're experiencing a lot of issues with people not cleaning up after their pets and all kind of stuff. They send this out every month. They need to worry about fixing everything first. So you bought your flip?
Yeah, it should
Well-
be here tomorrow.
Huh.
I'm going to buy Paul's controller.
This is ridiculous. Oh, never mind. That was yesterday. I'm waiting on a printer to come in today. And it said it was going to be here Tuesday. Then it said it was going to be here Wednesday. And I just looked at it and it said it's going to be here tomorrow. I said, what? It was today. It was yesterday.
What printer did you buy?
Canon Piximo, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I got the one that it costs $250 because I need the one that'll do the CD labels.
Okay.
I'm mad because I've got like 20 ink cartridges for the one that went bad. Now the thing is, they look the same, but the numbers are different. So I'm wondering if it would still work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try them. If not, sell them on eBay. People buy ink cartridges off there. Put them as one big batch.
Yeah. I get them on eBay, and I get them from this one company, and I can get 3 sets for $26. So I'm gonna try one of them. I'm gonna put one of those in first, I think, to see if it works. And if it works, I'll got those cartridges, you know. And if it doesn't work, I'm gonna wind up having to buy the $26 worth because I'm gonna run out of ink on the cartridge. On the labels, I got 36 labels to do.
Are the colors the same in the same spots?
That's what I'll find out when it comes in. But they look the same. It looks like it's the exact same setup.
I said, if not, worst case scenario, just put them all on eBay as one big batch and sell them.
Yep. Yeah, I got on eBay right now. I have my Mini 3 Pro set up and my original Levada set up. Let's see if I can get that sold.
Does Sam's have a printing area, or did they take theirs away?
You mean for photos?
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah. So is Costco. Yeah. I
Walmart
love
still
it.
has photo.
They used to fill the ink cartridges. I love that.
Yeah.
Does Walmart, Justin?
They still have the photo department in the one near me. I don't know about all of them,
Yeah.
but I know that they don't fill ink cartridges or anything like that. It's not a wet lab anymore. It's a dry lab. And then
Okay.
for anything extensive, they have to mail it off to a company to do it.
You mean like a 20 by 30 poster?
Well, they do those.
Some of that stuff they do. Certain canvases they might have to send off for.
Gotcha.
Certain stuff they have to send off for. And then I think like if you want to do like old school film, they still have to send that off. They don't do that in-house anymore. At least I don't think they do. I don't know. They didn't when I was working there. You had to still send that off. And then you get it back in like a week.
Boy, I remember sending them off to my rolls of film to California. A couple weeks later, you'd get them back, and those were the days.
Yeah. I used to send them to RGB Lab. I think they were in California. You send them the slide film, and they send you back. If you send them 3 rolls, they did the slide and sent you back 3 rolls of film.
Yeah, I
They wanted
remember
to keep
that.
your business.
Yep. And the film was the cheap part. It's the developing. Kind of like printers, you know, the printer itself is cheap. You're paying for the ink.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're somebody that's printing a lot, like just documents and stuff, toner cartridges are the way to go. Those things will last forever. They don't have a problem with drying out like ink cartridges do. But the toner cartridges are expensive. You're talking about 100. They can be anywhere between $80 to $150.
Yeah, I wanted the one that had the big things you could just fill up on the side, but they don't have one that does a CD label. And if I don't buy the CD label, the one for the CD labels, it will cost me about $60 every year just to get the USBs. So it's not worth it, you know?
Yeah.
People still order CDs? from you?
Well, they get what I do is I offer it that way. When I do the package for them, I tell them I'll give them at the end of the season, I'll give them a CD. Come on, camera. A CD with all the pictures on it. Because you can still take it to like Walmart or Walgreens and they got the reader, you know?
Yeah, because
But I tell them, yeah, most computers don't have it. But what I
Yeah.
tell them to do is they have their own website. I tell them, download all your pictures. That way you can put them directly on your computer that way. And you got the CD as a backup archive, you know?
Yeah, because if you want a disk drive anymore, you got to frickin' buy an external one. Plugs in a USB.
If they want a USB, I'll tell them if they want a USB, give me one, you know? I think I'm going to just go ahead and start doing USBs, but they like the CDs, everybody that I've given to them, because it's got the label with the name and the year and a picture of the kid and everything like that, you know?
Yeah, the one advantage though to USB drives is they're super cheap and you can buy them in bulk. And you don't have to print
I
anything
bought
for
50
them
of
or
them,
anything.
and I bought 50 of them. That's one of the CDs like that. That's what I do. It's got the name, everything on it with a picture of them.
Yeah.
You know, and you buy a small one, you know, an 8 gig, you know, you'll never probably fill that for a kid.
I bought 4 gigs.
Yeah.
The 4 gigs
I
were
would-
enough.
Yep, I wouldn't
And
even
it
get
was-
a 4 gig.
And it was, I think it was 40 of them, and it was $67, and that was on Black Friday. I got them in. It was funny. I got them in, and the hard part there is you got to label each one. You still got to put a label on them. You
And
know,
how
make
easy
sure I've
is
got
that?
well, I got to buy the labels and still print labels off. Just a little bitty label and print it on there or write on each one. And it would be more professional to just get like the Avery labels and print them, you know? But, and then if you don't have it exactly lined up, you're going to screw up your labels. It's just a bunch of little things. And then I got my printer working where it did the CDs. I said, okay, now I've sent those back. So I sent them back. And the other day I went to start doing something and the printer head said, printer head's online. It won't work. It won't kick back in. Because it was doing that, but it would work for a couple of weeks and then to do it and reset it and then do it again. Now it won't kick in. It's done. So now I'll just go ahead and I got the new printer be here today. And we'll see. So I got a project I'm working on. Oh, let me wait till Paul gets back and I'll show him. Started it last night and it worked out pretty good. I'll get the picture up to show you what it was.
Oh yeah, since I upgraded the RAM, man, frickin' Zoom is hardly using any damn resources now.
One moment, okay?
Do you remember, it used to be, I think the store was CompuServe, and they used to, on Sundays, the ad would come out and they would give you 100 CDs for free if you know, I forget what the deal was. But do you remember that back in the 90s?
Por favor, thank you. Enter the window. One moment.
Yeah, so I went from 40% usage on the memory when I was on Zoom, because Zoom's like super resource hungry. Now I'm averaging 10%. So I by doing that, I took it down 30%.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd Paul go?
Good question.
This is still no. If it was still on Made for Kids, you wouldn't be able to comment in the chat, Michael. I saw it set that. I had Murray go through his channel and set it as a permanent preference on his entire channel. There would be no live chat if it was set for kids. See, his older videos and everything, the chat should be back on there. Because
The Paul
it
just up and left again.
takes a minute for it to filter through your channel and return everything back on. It usually takes a couple hours by the time you reset it.
You remember you used to get those CDs for free back in the day?
Yeah.
What, the
I think it was
AOL
like
CDs?
No, Circuit City, no. Like a pack of 100. And they'd be in the ad, they would be in the ads on the Sunday ads. And I don't even think you had to buy anything. I think you just go in and show the coupon and they handed you 100 CDs.
I remember.
I would do that every Sunday. I had 1,000 probably.
I remember
Wow.
having a whole books and books of CDs, music and DVDs.
I had a guy that asked me because he knew I did the CDs. He gave me 4 packs of 50, but they were the ones that you write on. You don't have to. You could rewrite on them.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
Yeah,
DVDs and
rewritables.
50. It was 100 CDs, 100 DVDs, and he gave them to me. I got them sitting over there in a drawer. I don't even use them.
Yeah, I threw my
The one-
last book of DVDs out probably 2-3 years ago because they were every one of them were like all scratched to hell from just over the years. And that was
Yeah.
the last book of DVDs and CDs I had, and I just threw the whole thing in the trash. Because 90% of them were just all scratched to hell, and I didn't feel like buying a resurfacer to fix them, so I just like toss the whole book in the trash.
Well, I used to. I've got the DVD recorder over there. When I had cable going through it with like home HBO and stuff, I just record movies, and I've got about 400 movies recorded on DVD because it was all. It was put like this. It was high def enough that it looks almost 4K on my TV because it's the high definition recorder, and but I've got them in the big 100 stack, the tubes it comes in. And what I've got them in I've got them in alphabetical order. So you just take them out, take the one you want, and then put it back. So you don't scratch it up or anything, you know?
I remember
But
this
I
guy.
can't remember the last time we've watched one.
I remember the guy that used to sell bootleg DVDs, and he always had really good copies. But the problem was the DVDs he used wouldn't work in like half the DVD players.
Yeah.
So he actually sold a special DVD player. He had them all stacked up brand new in the box, and
Yeah.
they were guaranteed to work with his DVDs. So you could go in there and buy it, and they were only like $20 or something for the DVD player. Real cheap,
Wow.
little cheap ones from China.
So he had a racket.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell he got away with it, but he did that for years in the mall. He had a store in the mall in California. And that's all he sold was bootleg DVDs and CDs, but he would sell you the DVD player. He would warn you, he'd be like, these might not work in some of your DVD players, but I do
Yeah.
sell one that I guarantee will work with them.
So this is the project I'm working on. Lance, can you see it? Probably not. You're driving, right?
Yeah, I'm driving. I
Yeah.
see old people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my mom and dad, right?
Yep.
So we got a project. That's my mom. The if it focuses on it, that's the little bust I did of my mom off a picture, and that's the one of my dad off the picture. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna make all the kids and mom and dad like a little 6-set and give them to my brother and my 2 sisters for Christmas.
Have you ever seen the AI apps that you can use to make pictures come to life? You want to talk about
Yeah.
some creepy shit?
Oh, I know. I saw that a while back.
Oh, they've gotten better though,
Oh,
where
yeah, I
it
know.
gives like actual, like really good natural fluid movements, and you'll think
Mhm.
the damn person in the picture is like literally alive. Like it's creepy as shit.
Yeah, I think when I give it to my sister Beth, she's gonna she'll break down. I do that to her all the time. But it'll take me to do these things. It'll take me 11 overnights to get them all done.
What you need to do is find a local artist that can paint them, make them look professional.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Well, I mean, if you had like a multicolor printer, like like one of the Bamboos, where you didn't have to switch each color out, you could design
Yeah.
it to where you could do like the flesh colored face, have the eyes a certain color, have the hair a certain color, and actually make them look like not just a white statue type look.
Yeah,
But
what I
your
like
printer,
about this is the matte, to make it look like more like stone.
yeah, like a stone statue.
Yeah, so that I kind of like it this way. And
Either that or
it's got
get some
enough
really
feature.
good bronze spray paint.
Yeah, that might even work. Never thought about that.
Oh, yeah, make it. Well, he could just buy bronze filament and print them in bronze.
Yeah. Cause I could, when it gets to the bus side, I could have the bottom like a certain color and then change it,
Yeah.
I'd do some test prints in some different colors and just see what they look like.
Well, I'm gonna
Maybe
do
just-
one complete set like this for sure. I like this. But you got the point. I might just see about,
Or-
I don't know if they got bronze.
Or get like a stone colored, or maybe like a pearl white, something that looks more like a statue, kind of has that kind of gloss to it. When you see a
Yeah, I know what you
statue,
mean.
kind of
They
has that
do have
pearl
one. Let me
gloss.
find it. They do have one that almost looks like a mountainside.
Because I would think if you did it like more in a glossy like color, it might bring out the detail a little more. Just an idea.
Do they have bronze filament?
Looking.
Oh, they got every color or thing you can imagine. You can find it.
Well, I'll show you. Right there.
They actually have wood filament. That's
Oh,
part-
yeah, look
yeah.
at that.
Yeah, that'd be a bronze look.
So Paul, you can actually buy like, say like redwood filament, right? That looks like redwood and it actually has like 20% wood fibers in the filament. So it gives it that real wood look to it.
See, that's like a stone-like texture right there. Look, almost gives you a marbling effect, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it, but yeah, I get it. Because it looks like it had some kind of a
Like a little speck.
like it had some kind of a facial disease.
It's got a
Yeah.
little speck in it, like marble, you know? Let's see, there was one I saw.
I like the bronze.
I think the bronze
Yeah.
would, or if you got more of a statue color or bronze color, it'd probably bring out
This one here, look.
details a little bit better.
That one right there. It's like a mountainside.
The last call I had with the US.
Oh, I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna be mad today.
The Bristol Bay is going to continue to.
They're doing something outside. Sounds like they're testing fire alarms.
I'm not sure.
Oh, you know what you could do, Joe?
They will be turning around.
Try to attach them all together in the CAD system
We will
and make it
not
look like
Yeah.
a Mount Rushmore type look.
to,
That'd be
get
pretty
down
cool.
there to their
Like
Yeah,
they're
that would
carved
be
in the-
cool.
Like they're carved in the side of a mountain.
So you can prepare to get underway, don't get underway yet.
Yeah, it could probably be done. I don't know if I could fit them on there though.
Okay, for that, over.
I'm gonna figure it out. I got till Christmas. Yeah. Not like it's an overnight thing.
Oh yeah, you're a year ahead of game.
Yeah, because like I know the wood filament that you can get, it will actually have like a certain percentage of wood fibers in it. It's usually like I think like
Yeah.
15 or
Now I'll tell you
20%.
what about that though. That wood fiber jams my printer.
That's why when you do prints like that, usually they have very specific specifications you have to follow.
Yeah.
Like when Sean did the violins for his daughter and his wife, like there was specific set of instructions that he had to follow to a T. Like you have to do this temperature, you have to use this type of filament, because especially for instruments, because they pick the perfect filament for instruments that will give you the right tones that you need, you know, for musical notes and stuff. Like if you just use
Right.
any filament, the musical, like your whatever you want to call it, when you're tuning it, it's not going to ever tune right because of the way the sound bounces off of the filament. So when he did those, he had to follow that specification list that the guy that designed it came up with, and you have to follow it to a T if you're using stuff like that. Like it'll tell you what size nozzle to use, everything.
Yeah. Here's another one right here, another bronze. This is a different kind of bronze. Right
What's up,
here.
Donald?
I like the other one better.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it's
There's
a
nothing
different
wrong
kind.
with that, but
Donald says Roman statues were often painted to look like we also associate them
Get over.
as being white because of how museums choose to display them.
Yeah, that's why I want them that way. Because when you see a lot of them, they'll be like that matte finish, like
Yeah,
white.
you see how much more detail in the faces with the like
Yeah.
that bronze color. There's a lot more
Yeah.
detail in the face.
It might get shadowed.
Is TJ on his cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question about that. Yeah. He said he was going to the Caribbean, didn't
I told him to be
Caribbean.
careful too, because the cruise ship told him he could bring his drone. You can bring him on board, but I told him, I said, you got to be careful because each port that you go to, they're going to have different rules about that. You're not
Yeah.
going to be able to just get off the ship and throw your damn drone in the air and take off. You know,
he? Yeah, so he may not be back, you're telling us.
I told him, I said, if you didn't research it ahead of time, I probably wouldn't take it just to be on the safe side.
Yeah,
that's something-
Captain Ray had to check way ahead of time all the places he went to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're planning on going on a cruise, you should be planning at least 6 months in advance, getting all the information you need. You know, if you have to buy like a temporary flight license in that country or whatever, or you may have to take the test in that particular country in order to have it. You know, like the EU, you have to take that EU test before you go over there to fly. You can't
Yeah.
just throw your drone in the air. I mean, granted, if you're, I guess, in a more rural area, you probably could get away with it without nobody ever knowing, but still, you're taking a chance.
Yeah, Paul, I like the bronze, but I think it just doesn't, it look, maybe it's just what it looks, what it's on, you know? It's just, it looks like,
Well, it definitely shows the shadows of that, because that piece is in, the inside portions is
Yeah.
in the shadow of the shot. It looks a little light reflective, doesn't it?
yeah, it does.
Oh,
Yeah,
like I
me
said,
and-
I think that adds some detail with the facial structure and stuff
Yeah.
too, because I've seen quite a few prints that are just printed in plain white, and sometimes the details just aren't that great when you're looking at it.
Yeah, they
Like, it
don't
looks
jump out
good.
at you. Yep.
Yeah. I did like that rock one though. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that brown one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good for like a Mount Rushmore type thing. Like a
Yeah.
more,
Well, what you could do there is make a Mount Rushmore print, and you could have mom and dad on the outside, and all the three siblings in the center.
yeah, it's not as easy as you say.
You
No,
can do
that's-
anything, Joe. You the man.
No, I ain't that man.
Well, my shipment is shipped. It's supposed to be here Friday, supposedly.
No, it would definitely be some work in one of those CAD systems to make that, but
What
Is it up to-
controller do you fly your Neo with, Paul?
With the smart controller, the smart controller 2, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, RC2.
RC2.
oh, were you designing like a base for it as well? I think that'd be
Me?
cool if you put them on like a nice like base.
Well, no, I didn't do that. I was doing them individual. Individual with the individual base, you know?
Oh, individual. Okay, so you are putting them on some kind of base. Then, okay.
It's got a little base on the bottom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, you got about 4 different in Maker Lab. You get 3 different choices of the bases.
Yeah, I think
So
that's a good idea.
Joe,
there.
when is your flip gonna be delivered?
Now or never.
Oh, I don't believe that. I think you're just gonna surprise us.
No.
To be fair though, Joe, you always say that and you end up buying it.
That's right.
Now, let me tell you, I'm telling you what the selling point is. And this is what the non-selling point is also. I'm a Port 107. I want to fly it at like a homecoming parade, and since it is under 249 grams, if I go do it for a purpose, I still have to have it registered.
Yeah, but what's that? $35 a year or whatever?
No,
It's
$5.
$5, but
$5.
you have to have it. You have to have rid on it.
I know. That's the
which
thing.
is his turning point. You have to put
Yeah.
rid on it if you're using it at 107. Doesn't matter
Right.
what it weighs.
Right.
So that's why he
Now, let
doesn't
me
want
tell you the other part. The other part. 2 reviews yesterday, and Marcus said it last night on Bill's show. It has remote ID built in. It's turned off.
Well, that's because all drones in the US are turned off.
Well,
No, they're
it's,
turned on.
yeah, but it's like, once you turn it on, you probably can't turn it back off again.
and that's what
Yeah.
that's what they said with the Mini 3. You know, once you turn it on, it's on.
Right.
So
So
what's
my
your
question is
concern then?
this. In Europe, it's turned on. So for the Port 107 people, turn them on. You know, it's got to be turned on.
Yep.
They're making it for a recreational, but I want it for something else.
Yeah, well, all you do is you just turn it on. That's all.
Yeah, what's
And
your,
I'm not gonna buy a $70 piece of equipment to put on there for remote
Oh, no,
ID.
no, that's not what they're talking about. There's evidently in the program, you can turn remote ID
Yeah.
on or off.
Yeah, it's in the program. They could turn it on. But I can't turn it on.
I think you can.
No.
oh, no, you just wait and see when, Murray's gets in and you guys can see what's in the menu.
Yeah, because it's not a switch that we could turn on. It's in the firmware.
Maybe you have to request it.
Maybe. They'll only
That'd be a
give you the
good
option.
question. That'd be a good question to call DJI and ask them.
See, they only give you the option. I want remote ID on mine. So can mine, can you send me in the what you call it? The one online, so I can upgrade it online with remote ID.
Either that, or if it's not like a toggle to toggle it on, maybe there's something in there and you press it and then it sends out, it reaches out for a firmware update for it.
Well,
And then you probably have to
Sean
agree
yesterday
to it.
came on and said it absolutely
I don't know.
doesn't have it. So he said
I
it
don't
didn't
know.
have it.
Well,
And like
yeah,
I said,
but
2 reviewers said it turned off when he
but
got on.
I took it what Geek Savannah's saying. You don't have to worry about it in the UK because it's turned off. But he
Well,
didn't say
maybe,
you can't turn it on.
yeah, but maybe they don't have remote ID in the UK, so why would their version of it have it? Maybe it doesn't.
Japan does. Japan has remote ID, and I heard the European side, that's the one for Japan too, is turned on. So that's what I'm
I
hearing.
don't know.
I would much prefer to have it on. So if I decide to go, now the other problem is going out at Mardi Gras or like the homecoming parade, some crackerjack gonna throw beads at it. I know it.
Well, what size is it? How much does it actually weigh? Is it just under 240 or 250
With the
like
battery,
the Mini?
249. It's
So worst
exactly
case
what it needs to
scenario-
be to not be registered. But if you add a module to it, you're now over 249.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Now you're just splitting hairs. Nobody's going to come out and weigh your drone.
Well, I know, but it's still the principle, you know?
Yeah, but the weight only applies to whether you're going to register it or not. You already are going to register it because you're 107, so that doesn't matter
Yeah.
that you go over that weight.
No, the
But
weight
then you
won't
got an
matter.
additional
It's the
40,
the
50
red
bucks
that
for
you
the
gotta pay
ID.
extra for. I
Go
don't wanna
ahead,
pay
Lance, what'd you say?
$70. I don't want to pay $70 to put a remote ID on it. I want it built in.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
it
with
is
Joe.
built in.
Yeah, it is, but it's not turned on. They got a firmware.
And do we know that for sure? Do we know that for
Oh.
sure?
2 reviewers said it, and Marcus said it, that he talked to somebody and they said it's turned off in the US.
Wonder why.
Apparently, they don't have geofencing on it either.
I think that's
No
kind
more
of fishy.
geofencing. It was taken off yesterday.
But
on
that,
everything.
and
I heard that.
you know what's funny is I find that hilarious, right? Is like DJI is facing so much heat from the US government about spying and all this other crap. And their response is to remove the one safety feature that's supposed to keep their drones from going over military bases. Shit. I don't get why they would do that. That's the stupidest shit ever. You're
Well, you
literally
got a
giving
point.
them more fuel to the fire by saying, well, our drones can go anywhere now. How does that help your case? I think that's stupid.
You got a point.
That is stupid. I agree.
Because that does not help your case at all with your argument against the government. Like, I can understand you doing that in other countries that aren't like harassing them right now about their drones, but the US, as much heat as they're getting from the US government, you think that they would put even more safety features on the drones, not reduce them.
Yeah.
That's stupid. That makes them look really bad. I think that's just gonna that's gonna bite them in the ass in the long run. Because some politician is gonna know that that's a thing, and they're gonna know they removed it, and they're gonna bring that point up and say, well, you know, now their drones can fly anywhere.
And a clear reveal of their response. Ever feel like a bit of a holiday? Workers'
What's up,
revolution.
Mark? Trevor?
Good day, Justin. Justin, your comment just a little while ago, while I agree with you, DJI were leading the way by actually having geofencing and all of the other stuff. None of the other drone manufacturers were actually held to the same standard.
Yeah, but who gets the most crap though? DJI.
I know, yeah, I know no DJI gets the most crap, but you could go out and you could buy a Skydio, an Autel drone, and none of them had geofencing on them. And I can see why DJI has done this, because it now opens up a lot of space within their hardware that they can actually use for features. Because up until now, the geofencing's been taking up a lot of real estate.
I get that, but at the same point, it's like 90% of the time when you hear about a drone flying, you know, over an emergency situation or flying into a stadium during a game, over here, 90% of the time it turns out to be a DJI.
Yeah.
Because they're so much more readily available to consumers.
Yeah.
So they tend to
Well,
be
the other problem with that is it required DJI to be getting a list of sites and places that have got to be banned from being flown over. And of course, your government doesn't want to supply DJI locations wherever one of their army barracks are, or Air Force.
come on. They know where all that stuff is. Everybody knows where each
I
other's
know,
shit is.
I know,
That's stupid.
I know that they know that, but you can't go ahead and
Hello, Lance.
say that they know everything. So
Well, no, but what I'm saying is at the moment, though, I think even if it opens up more room for more features, I think that
Oh, there
shouldn't
he
be their
is.
number one concern at the moment, at least here.
Yeah.
To remove that safety feature when they're already catching all kinds of hell, I don't know. Because if one politician figures
All
out
right.
that was a thing and now it's removed, that's going to be their argument right there.
Did you
Yeah.
see, Joe? Lance has the best drone ever right now. See?
Yeah, you can say that.
No,
Which is incredible. The case with the minute the fall down should be round.
But I agree with you, Justin. Why did DJI do that?
well, I get what Trevor's saying, but I just don't think that should be their biggest concern is adding more features in the US right now until they can get all their legal stuff taken care of and know whether they are going to get banned at some point, or they're going to relax and just let them be there and not worry about them anymore.
Well, the other comment that came out from the US, from the UK, was people were going ahead and saying, "Well, my drone let me fly, so therefore there couldn't have been a restriction in place. We all know that there's just not enough. It's impossible for DJI to actually keep up with the temporary no-fly zones and stuff like that, such as the LA fires, for instance. Those wouldn't have picked up, and a person could still easily take off. So yeah, it was a case of a lot of people that were going ahead and using that as an excuse, and so DJI got rid of the excuse that they can use, and it now falls back on the onus of the person to make sure that they're legally able to fly in that particular spot.
Well, and we got to see what Trump does now too, because they keep bringing it up to him about the whole drone thing, and he said he'll look into it. So, but this is another problem I see too, is like, you take the size of the drone community, you compare it to the size of the non-drone community that's complaining about them. You know,
Yep.
you kind of got to appease the masses more than a small percentage of people. And there's more people bitching about drones than there are advocating for them. So I see that being a problem too, because any politician, they'd rather appease 100,000 voters versus 1,000 that are bitching. They're gonna take the bigger side because that's potential voters, whatever. Especially with senators and congressmen, if they have 10,000 constituents and 9,000 of them are bitching about something, they're gonna listen to those 9,000.
Yeah. Well, we had the same problem over here in Australia. They were whinging and complaining. So CASA, our regulatory agency came up with a way that they could control the drones and still allow them to do everything and set the rules and etc. And then they went through Parliament completely unopposed. It amazed me after all the hype that the politicians were doing about. Yeah, we've got to stop them from being able to do this and this and this and this, and then they go and agree with the regulations that CASA's brought in and actually pass the act. It's one of those things. I think a lot of people don't understand drones.
Well, that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Is like over here, out of 330 million people, 328 of them don't have anything to do with drones. Let's just say we give them a 2 million percentage.
Yeah.
People that have to do with drones. Those 28 million people don't care about them, don't have no interest in them, don't want them around their house. You know? Those are the ones they're going to listen to the bigger group of people.
Yeah. So you're playing with your Neo there. So
this is cool.
Lance, how much does a Neo weigh?
Under two. Oh, what is it, like 133 or something? I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
135.
135 is quite light.
Here you go, Lance. You like this?
Oh yeah, Lance is right too. TikTok has 4 days left.
Yeah, I remind my kids every day this week, and they start crying.
And surprisingly, there's nobody has really lined up to make a offer on it, except for I think that one guy from the Shark Tank, the older bald guy. He made some kind of statement about making an offer, but I haven't heard anything of him actually making a legit offer on it. So.
There you go, Lance. Get you an orange skin for it.
Yeah, the only problem with those skins is that they do reduce the amount of signal that gets into the GPS.
Yeah.
It's been proven. Because we looked at, because I'm actually with an emergency service, we looked at actually having our drones nicely customized with a nice skin on them with the dazzle striping down the side, really make them look the part. And until we actually found out how much signal we're going to lose and how much trouble it was going to cause us, that all got thrown out the door.
Well, let me ask you, Lance, how long did it take for you to get GPS lock?
See, I've only flown it by hand, so
Okay.
I have not gotten GPS at all.
Yeah, because when I sit it outside and I turn it on, it takes me 3 minutes before it gets up to 9 satellites.
Can you
Yeah.
say Mavic 3 when it first came out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that was
that,
bad.
it says it's because the way that they actually support 4 different satellite systems, not only the US system, but the Chinese, European system, and the Russian system. And subsequently, it's got to get a lock to actually work out which country it's in. So then, so they can actually decide which system is the best system to use. Obviously, if you're in the European Union, the EU system would probably be the best for that country. We use the US system, and if you're obviously flying in China, they think their version of their positioning system is the best. So that's what caused that originally with the Mavic 3. It took so long to actually get a lock on all 4 of the systems and then actually get a position that making the decision was a little bit hard. Now, I don't know if they've fallen down that same problem with the Neo, and I'm hoping they haven't. I hope they learnt from their early Mavic 3 problems. But yeah, wraps are definitely something by all means avoid.
I haven't wrapped any of them. There's a waste of money right here.
Yeah, you need a whole cage the way you fly that Neo, Joe.
Yeah.
No, the way the Neo flies itself. What are you talking about? Lance, here's a waste of money.
Oh,
yeah.
come on. They're not that bad.
You could print those for a couple dollars on your printer.
Yeah,
But
cheaper
I'll
than
put it
that.
this way. I don't see why you would need these on a Neo. It's not
Well,
going fast enough to hurt anything.
I
It
would
doesn't
say
go-
if you're flying in a house indoors, probably be not a
Yeah.
bad idea.
Inside, no, but the
But Joe
inside I would
can't do that.
agree. But
What do you mean?
actually,
In manual mode, the Neo does 35 miles an hour.
Well, Joe's don't do anything he wants it to do.
but
So-
you have a look at the weight of the Neo.
Let me show you this drift.
If that was to hit something, I don't
Watch
think it would
this
actually.
You need
A
one of
little
these,
drift
Joe.
at the end. Right here. Watch it drift on me. I thought I was gonna hit the building.
Now you weren't actually in the you were in normal mode, not in cinema. The first mode that the DJI's got, where
normal and sport.
Beginner.
yeah, the cine mode setting on your DJI controllers will actually let the RCN balloon out as it goes around
Yeah.
corners and things like that. It's specially designed for that so-called cinematic look. In normal, you won't have that problem. We noticed that with a number of drones that we've actually flown. That
Now, that was with the goggles and the motion controller. I was in normal mode.
maybe you've got to get used to that motion control a bit better.
Yeah, maybe I did it, but it drifted.
Yes, could be down to pilot error.
Well, it made a good drift. I did turn it kind of fast, but it drifted.
Lance, going back to the little TikTok thing, I don't feel bad for any of those influencers on there because they knew this shit was coming, and yet they still were investing all this time into it, and they could have moved over to another platform.
Yep, I agree.
They
Well,
had
put it this
over a
way.
year. They knew it was coming.
But
Yeah,
my kids love watching that stuff, and they're not going to be able to now.
Like if I knew YouTube was getting
Savage's tested
like-
released
Like if I knew YouTube was getting banned in a year, I wouldn't keep investing a bunch of time into it. I would move to another platform.
Yeah, well, you look at it. They can't. You can't say that they haven't been warning you that it was
Yeah.
going. I had to,
And,
I had to phys I had to physically look up what the date was that you guys were going to be cut off. Because
before
it had been
President,
so long ago.
the day before President Trump gets inaugurated.
yeah,
the
19th.
19th.
But that's
So
the thing is, and that's the thing too, is like I guarantee if some billionaire here bought it, they're going to run into the same issues that Elon did with Twitter. And it's probably going to even be worse when they find out how many actual accounts and bots are on that fucking platform. It's ridiculous. It's so easy to tell without actually even being in their system. Just being on that platform, you can see how many bot accounts there are. It's ridiculous because they're trying to rival. They were trying to compete with YouTube, so they allowed it. They actively allow bots to run rampant on their system because they're trying to boost their numbers to make themselves look bigger than they actually are.
yeah,
And I guarantee if somebody like Elon was to come in and buy it, he would turn around and find out that half the accounts on there aren't even real. And their user base is actually a lot smaller than it is.
but how do you actually only buy the US share of the market? Because the kind that means the TikTok that the UK users and the TikTok the US users would have to be split somehow. I can't see it happening.
Well, yeah, my question would be, well, I know how they would pretty much just take over the US servers on that section and disconnect from ByteDance, but it's like, how would people from the UK watch your content in the US and vice versa? That's where I don't see
Yeah, exactly.
where they would make the connection. Yeah, doesn't make sense.
So, and then you've still got the user database. So, how do you go and divvy that up? Like if a person's in the US, are those accounts only held in the US? Yeah, there'd be a lot to be worked out, but I don't think there's going to be time for a last minute reprieve this time.
Like I said, I have not heard anything besides that one guy mentioned it a couple months ago that he was interested in it, but I haven't seen one thing on the news or anywhere on social media about anybody actually making a legit offer on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're probably thinking along the same lines as what I am. That how would they how physically could they split the thing and keep it so that everyone can still work the same way.
Oh yeah, I got the filters.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be.
Oh, yeah.
how do people from the UK go on if they go over to America for holiday and they want to use TikTok?
Yeah, they won't be able to
No.
because it'll be two separate entities.
The only way that would work is you'd have to probably use a VPN. That's how a lot of people from China actually get out onto American sites. They VPN outside of China to get through China's, great firewall, whatever the fuck they call it. That's how because you can actually get in trouble in China if you're caught using a VPN.
Oh, just a little bit.
Now, whether they actually enforce that, I don't know. Because there was a guy, I don't remember if you guys remember that guy that Dan and a bunch of people from the journal community were going back and forth with. He was the one that was attacking Dobo and everybody, but he was a really small channel, like 6 months ago. But he lives in China and does a live stream on YouTube all the time. He live streams and uploads videos to YouTube. But he says in his videos he actively lives in China. So how he hasn't gotten in trouble by the Chinese government, he's American, but he lives in China with his wife. So how he's gotten away with that, I don't know if there's some special license they can give you technically you're a foreigner, I guess. I don't know how that works, but
Effectively, the rule is that if you follow the line and actually don't post anything anti-Chinese or etc. on the thing, they'll let you get away with it.
oh,
The minute
no,
you actually, the minute you actually start going ahead and picking on China and or doing anything anti-Chinese on there, then they will come down like a ton of bricks.
oh yeah,
Um,
he's 100% pro-Chinese. That's all he talks up. So he never says anything bad about China. He always talks about how it's better living over there. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Oh yeah. It's obviously better living over there.
Yeah.
'Cause you have so many wonderful communist laws you like to live under.
Well, obviously, it must be better living over there. My assistant chief pilot, who actually authorizes my flight plans for when I fly for the emergency services, he comes from China. I've got there's 5 others within the department that are all from China. So obviously, must be a good country to stay to live in.
Oh, we've got thousands of Chinese here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. You couldn't pay
Nearly
me
every chip shop's owned by a Chinese.
Look, if I had to go to China for some reason, you couldn't pay me to walk into a building that was more than 1 story and trust that bitch ain't gonna collapse.
Not at the
Their-
rate that they go up.
Their
Okay.
quality control is absolute garbage. Like I
Yeah.
said, DJI is like a diamond. That's like a very few things come out of China that are actually very well quality controlled and built well and well designed, that they didn't steal from somebody else and tried to copy, that they've actually designed themselves.
Yeah.
That's very rare out of China. Like I said, normally if you get a US product that's being built in China, they have to build it to the specifications that the US that company wants. And that's why you can get, iPhones that when they were built there, they were built well, the quality was good on them, because Apple said, we want this specification, they have to follow that, or Apple's not going to build their phones there, right? But if they tried to make their own iPhone, 90% of the time it's going to be absolute garbage when they try to copy it.
Yeah. It's one of those things. China is technically a place that actually makes a lot of photocopies or copies of everything. They're very good. They've had a lot of training in how to copy other people's designs, or more of a case that you guys actually go ahead and say, I want this product made in China, and someone being able to see the whole plans and etc. Then's got the full set of plans to make their own version in China themselves. There's a lot of that going on.
But the problem there too is, like I said, at the end of the day, they don't quality control themselves very well.
Yeah.
That's where they fall short, is they cut a lot of corners. They, to try to get on the market, and then their products tend to be, even their copies of products tend to be real crap 90% of the time.
Yeah, and then unfortunately they go ahead and sell them off to the markets overseas, and that they well and truly know that they're not going to get complaints because people aren't, but they're so far away. That the how many people have you seen that have really been able to get a warranty repair done by for a product that's come out of China?
Yeah.
Because it's a case that there's companies that are there 1 minute, gone the next. E.g., they stole one design, ran it for everything they could get out of it, and then naturally left the building before anyone came chasing them. or it's a case that they don't speak of the English when you want to get any common sense out of them. And at least that's one thing that DJI's actually I've got to give them credit for is they've gone ahead and put service centers in a lot of countries so that your warranty repairs, your care refreshing, etc., all happens in your own country 99% of the time.
They've just put one in the UK now, less than 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, that's that Hasselblad store, isn't it?
Yeah. So that instead of sending them to Holland, we can now send them to the UK.
Yeah. And they kind of get here in Australia, it's the D1 store, which is technically a DJI store. But they've gone ahead and they've set up these service centers so that things like warranty claims, etc., they don't have to go all the way back to China. Which is a good thing.
Well, I think we've got 2 DJI shops at the moment, one in London and one in Birmingham, and they're opening one in Manchester.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. It'd be nice if every single Chinese company actually took a leaf out of DJI's book and actually had a look at how they're doing business. But I don't think unfortunately, don't think it's going to happen.
No, because you might find one item out of every 1,000 items somebody might buy off of Temu that actually does what it says it's going to do and does it well. Like, that's just the kind of crap that they make. Like, a lot of it's just 100% junk. Like, their tool designs are hilarious. Like, I watch some of these channels that like buy like the tools that they make like on Temu and stuff, and it's hilarious the shit they come up with.
Oh yeah. The art industry had the same type of problem with copycats out of China, and that industry has literally fairly well disappeared from China now. So maybe the same will actually happen with some of this bad content that gets produced out of there.
Well, a lot of the tech industry over here is starting to pull out. Like Apple left, Microsoft's pulling out because they were doing some OS, a Chinese OS Microsoft system for the Chinese government, but now they have their own design of Microsoft of their own that they want to use. So Microsoft's leaving. There's a bunch of them are pulling out of there.
Yep.
They're just trying to find the next China, and India's going to be the next China. India and Mexico seem to be the 2 places everybody's leaving to.
Oh yeah, but I can see why India is. We've got a lot of Indian taxi drivers over here at the moment, and some of them are actually sending back big boatloads of money back to their home country because they're making so much more here than what they would make in their own country, that they're able to support their families and live it up big compared with what they would in India. So yeah, it's a case that they've still got to go down the path of actually setting up manufacturing and doing it right. But they've still got a long way to go because they've got one of the most inefficient power grids known to man.
I've seen videos of their power grids. They're funny as shit.
Yeah. Most inefficient power grids known to man. They're just so behind the times in a lot of things. Yet, in the same breath, they have so much trouble with looking after their own people and their own infrastructure, and then they go ahead and launch satellites. But they've got a probe that turns up in Mars in a couple of weeks' time, and things like that. And they cost something like $100 billion to actually put together. And you think they put $100 billion into their setting up good industry in their country, that they'd be laughing.
Justin, I made you host. I'll be back.
Yeah, like look at some of these like some of the power shit is just crazy.
Yeah.
Just thousands of wires all strung and mixed up, and it's insane.
I'm actually surprised they haven't moved a load of stuff to the Philippines as well. I mean, a lot of the call centers are put there because it's so cheap labor. Trouble is, the government is so corrupt.
Yes, and that's a big problem. They had an undercut, but a case recently where there was a call center for one of our power providers, actually in India, and people's credit card details that in the Philippines, and it turned out that that when they gave them their credit card details for paying their account and things like that, there was other charges coming off the account, and the cards were getting stolen and stuff like that. So yeah, it really does make for a bit of a problem, because your details are going overseas before you've even that, just so that you can actually get your power in your own country.
Joe, I made you host because I got to jump off.
I mean,
Yeah, I was wondering why he was making you host.
my
Yeah,
cable
I'll see y'all later.
Virgin have their my cable company Virgin, they have their call centers in the Philippines.
Yeah. But oh, by the way, we've got to ask Justin how his car's going.
He's
Did
gone.
he fix it? Did he fix it or not?
Yeah, he's still working on it.
Right.
You have to ask Lance that.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't. I'm a bit iffy about it. The last time I brought up about a vehicle, back when he actually had that other car, I got in a lot of shit over that. Yeah. So I don't talk about his vehicles anymore.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with his car. I mean, he changed it, didn't he? Last year, I think it was. Something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
After it went ahead and broke down at a shopping center. But yeah, if he's had another one go bung, he must be either the few things that could go wrong. It's either operator failing to adequately maintain, or he's just had bad luck and bought 2 lemons in a row.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with the one he's got now.
Yeah, he hasn't had anything go wrong with it since the brakes. I think it was the brakes or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, there was no stopping him, eh?
Yeah, Lance is just messing with him.
Lance just likes messing, yeah.
Oh, right.
What am I doing?
A bit like Paul.
Talking about Justin's car.
He's a trouble causer.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that Lance guy. That's what's causing him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what advice are you giving out today on purchases for for Paul to have today. Joe, you got any more advice for him?
Well, which one?
I think he
Oh,
needs.
okay.
I think he
I'm
needs
okay.
about 1,000 now.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna have to. Yeah, you gotta tell him he needs one of those now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Paul got to stop spending money.
I don't know why he's bought the flip. Last month, he stopped. Well, he buggered off from his show and left me and Joe on it so that he could go and put money in his bank because he'd gone overdrawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you see, the thing is, he's probably got the money in the bank in a different account, but he doesn't use online, so he's got to run a transfer.
No, he had to go and pay the money in that his tenant had given him in cash for the rent.
Well, if he's living like that, he needs to quit buying flips.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's obviously sleeping on too much money, by stuffing it in the mattress.
Yeah.
But no, that he went out and said yesterday that, well, when he dies, he doesn't want to leave a cent to anyone else. By all means, and
Well,
I totally agree with that.
He hasn't got anybody else to leave it to.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
So let him go ahead and buy some new toys to play with.
I mean, legally, it will all go to his brother, even though he hasn't talked to his brother in about 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things you don't want to leave the government a single red cent if you can get away with it. Yeah, but I'm the like it'll be a new toy for him to play with. But yes, the emergency services got a DJI 1000, and on a recent search, that's actually kept all the batteries nicely charged and everything. Meant I didn't have to run a noisy generator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I have it now, because next week we're going to have 3 days. It's going to be 24 below.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we don't have electricity problems, but I have it just in case.
Yeah. Well, put it this way, it actually worked extremely well. When I did the Streaky Bay incident, I was literally keeping the batteries for the drone were getting cycled through. So fly one and put that on charge, etc. And that was all being done by the brick. And the great part about it is I can leave it in the vehicle with everything connected up and drive to the next location. And the thing still has to, where I can't do that with a generator. I can't have the generator running in the back of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So literally the time it takes to get from one fly spot to the next spot that you or the next vantage spot might take you 20 minutes. In that time, you've actually gone ahead and enough to got everything back recharged, ready to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, Paul's got an inverter in his car, so he can just plug something into that.
Now the problem, and I had this discussion at length with a few people over here. Unless your vehicle's actually had its alternator beefed up, so you've got a really good alternator in the vehicle and etc. You don't want to be pulling copious amounts of energy off your battery, because you'll highly likely go ahead and end up with a flat battery, and then there's no way for you to get then you've got to get a jump start to actually get going again, and etc. So inverters will go ahead and will drink the juice like there's no tomorrow out of your battery, and it'll be gone before you know it. At least with the DJI 1000, it's a separate unit. It only does supply supply the power for that particular job. So if it goes flat, that's it. There's no more energy. Or I can start the vehicle up and plug it into the 12-volt socket on the vehicle, and actually have it start recharging. But I know then that I've actually got to have the vehicle running at all times. But yeah, the having these inverters in vehicles, unfortunately, it runs into that problem that you're pulling a lot of energy and it's highly likely you'll actually end up with a flat battery before you actually know that you've actually gotten yourself into trouble.
Yeah. Because I think even in motorhomes, the inverter runs off the leisure battery.
Yeah.
And if you've got solar power, all the solar power does is charge the battery up.
Yeah. You see, that's the great part about the DJI 1000. You can actually add another brick to it.
Yeah.
Which actually goes ahead and gives you that doubles its capacity.
And also costs you about the same amount as the actual Power 1000.
Yeah, but you could by adding the second brick, you've doubled your capacity. You then added a couple of solar panels, and you've actually got enough energy to actually, for most people that are going out camping to watch TV, if they take a TV with them, keep their computer charged and actually be able to use the computer out there. There's just it just makes it a case that you can have that standalone power source that's away from your vehicle's power source.
And if you've actually got the solar panels fitted on the roof, you can actually charge the Power 1000 from them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's a fantastic system. And the other thing too that has actually been pointed out, once we actually get the newer drones, you can actually buy a lead that will go plug onto the DJI 1000, and it will actually charge at copious speeds. So in other words, it's near enough so it takes about half the time.
Doesn't that only work on the Mavic 3 though at the moment?
Yeah. No, Mavic 3, Matrice 30T, and Matrice 350.
Yeah.
I believe the Matrice 4T will probably be able to be done. Will be able to use the lead, but they haven't put out a special lead yet for the Matrice 4T.
Yeah.
But I think that's only going to be a matter of a short time. Give DJI time to actually sell a few, and then they'll say, "Oh, we've better produce this lead so we can start selling that as well." But yeah, it gives it the availability that the device can actually ask for whatever it wants in the way of power, and it actually controls the output for that device based on the lead. It's very, very smart. But yeah, the Matrice 30T, normally the batteries would take about 60 minutes to charge, and you can actually bring that down to 25. So really saving you a lot of time. Actually, it means that you've only got to have 2 sets of batteries for it, because you put one set on charge, go and fly. You've got your 45 minutes of flight time. You land, go pick up the 2 batteries that have been charging because they'll be full. So yeah, it's a really good way of doing things. But and of course, DJI's technology with batteries, they've learned a lot of lessons over the years.
Hey, Lance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you this, Lance. Are you there?
Yep, I'm watching.
And we'll get you that for the Neo. So it's a sissy drone.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
perfect.
Perfect color. Perfect color.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, they
glad.
got orange.
I'm
There
glad
you
my
go.
painkillers are working now.
Yeah, they got orange, Lane.
Yep, I see that. Is this a master screw?
No, that says compatible. It doesn't tell you who they're from. Probably,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Jim Fan.
T-Move?
Probably a Jim Fan type.
Yeah.
But that's not bad. That's not bad for $9.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, I had to buy myself a new tea maker.
What, you need a new microwave or what?
Yeah, it blew up.
How did you blow your microwave up?
It started making funny arcing noises, and when I opened it, it was smoking inside.
Yeah, that's no
But
good.
it was old, and the lining on the inside of the thing was coming away and rusting. So I thought, time for a new one. So I bought myself a Samsung bells and whistles one with the convection oven, grill, and microwave, 15 automatic cook settings, and all sorts.
Oh, yes, you'll be set for life now. Now you can actually cook your cup of tea in many different ways.
I never cook a cup of tea in a microwave. Tea
You know
is
what you're missing.
made with a kettle.
Oh, yes. That's what
But
they all say until we find out the evidence.
He doesn't know what he's missing.
you cannot make a cup of tea by putting a tea bag in water and putting it in a microwave, because it cooks the tea leaves instead of brewing the tea.
Right. Now a number of people that I've actually seen that have gone ahead and heated water in a microwave, and there was a case that was out of Adelaide a couple of years back where the filtered water they'd gone ahead and put the mains their tap water through a series of really good filters to actually end up with really good drinking water.
Yeah.
But it taken out most of the impurities out of the water. So when it actually boiled the water, it had superheated it.
Yeah, it
And
does.
he opened the door and just the tapping of the side, the water just exploded out of
Yeah,
the cup.
yeah, it will do.
So yeah, it's always better if you're going to boil water in a microwave to use water that's got minerals in it.
Yeah.
So yes, that was a big lesson learned. It's gone to so much trouble to filter the water so nicely, and then to actually have it explode like that. Obviously, he didn't get his cup of coffee that day.
I've actually got two different types of kettle. One that you just fill up and boil the full kettle full, and one that has a tank, and you press the button and it passes the water through the element and just boils 1 cup of water at a time.
Yeah, that's when you look at it, it's a logical way of doing it.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I've actually gone and boil the kettle to make a cup of coffee or whatever, and you've got 2 or 3 cups worth of water in there.
Yeah.
And you're only using 1 cup of water. So you're boiling 2 cups of water that are going to sit in the kettle and go cold.
Just wasted energy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wasted energy.
But yeah, I'm quite impressed with the one that does it that way, 1 cup at a time. In fact, it's got 2 settings. So for 2 different cups, So it'll do a half a cup or a full cup. Or if you've got a big mug, you do a full cup and then a half a cup, and then it fills
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
A
that
mug?
that does make sense. It's like washing machines these days.
Oh yeah, they
Um,
all put cold water in and heat them themselves rather than
Yeah.
use the hot water in your system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind. I I had to buy a new washing machine a couple of years back. And I'm echoing now, Mud. That Don. Yeah, and kind of, I went ahead and got it, and I'm for okay. I'll connect it up to the pipes and the pipes that were already there, and I'm
Yeah.
there.
All of a
There's
sudden realise you now need a blanking plate for your hot water pipe.
and I'm there.
Hey, Dana.
I've only got one hose on this thing. It
Yeah.
must be a cold washing machine only. And they looked on the front, and it's got a temperature setting and everything for the water.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, yeah. So I ended up connecting up the cold water and actually getting the hot water actually disconnected from the old washing machine. And lo and behold, yeah, it heats it up itself.
Yeah.
So that saves me a lot of trouble in working out what time to actually do the washing, because I don't have to worry about is there going to be enough hot water in the water tank to actually because in my place I'm on what they call J tariff. It heats hot water service up at night time, and
You got an electric
got
water. Yeah.
I just to say, I don't know of anybody who, to Mark's earlier thing, I don't know of anybody who makes tea by putting the bag in the water and then boiling it in the microwave. You boil the water in the microwave, get it to boiling, you pull it out, and then you steep your tea.
Yeah, but Joe
If
doesn't.
Joe actually does it,
Joe
okay. I think you can make tea that way. It might not be the best tea, but you can make tea that way. It makes
you can
tea.
make it, but it's not tea.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
It's
I'll
still
put it this
tea.
way.
It's
I'm
just a
using
different way of making tea.
I'm using the tea from the dollar store. You get 100 bags for $1.25, so it don't make too much of a difference.
It don't make a lot of difference.
And you can't and you're not going to heat the tea leaves. You say it's cooking the tea leaves instead of heating the water. You can't heat the tea leaves hotter than the water.
Yeah.
Yes, surrounding. So you're still steeping it in the water in the microwave. You're not overcooking the tea leaves because they're still in boiling water.
Yeah, you are, because you're actually making the tea leaves wet, and therefore they've got water in the tea leaves.
That's what steeping does.
No, steeping.
You don't get your tea leaves wet when you make tea.
No, see,
you don't make tea leaves wet when you make tea. How do you make tea without getting the tea leaves wet?
You didn't let me finish. Normally, you would put the tea leaves in boiling water, and yes, it will steep the flavor out of the leaves.
Yes.
If you get the leaves wet and put them in a microwave, it will agitate the water molecules, which is the way a microwave works, and cook. It will actually cook the leaves rather than let them steep properly.
But they're still cooking at the same boiling temperature of water, the same as hot water will do.
It's a bit different, but yeah.
Not really. It's only in your head that's different.
Yeah, but no, I agree with you, Don. I actually agree with you.
Because, I mean, there are cases where you can superheat water.
Yeah.
With a tea bag in, you're not going to superheat water because you actually have nucleation points. And the reason you can superheat water is because you don't have any nucleation points inside the cup. And when you jostle it, you create agitation in the water, which creates nucleation points for the boiling to happen. If you have a tea bag in there, it provides the nucleation points for the boiling already. And so you can't superheat water.
Yeah, but you've
with
also
the tea bag in it. Therefore, you're not going to be getting the tea leaves hotter than boiling water.
But what you've got to remember is that you're getting the tea leaves wet in cold water first.
And
which knackers it up.
Where's
No, it
Preston?
doesn't.
It's got to be boiling water to allow it to steep. So once it's steeped in cold water, it's not going to work properly.
No.
it's,
Because I've actually seen them make cold tea.
yeah, you can cold brew tea.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think this is all in your head, Mark.
Yep.
You are obstinate, and you are just like, there's only one proper way to make tea,
oh yes, it is.
and you want us to get off your property.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my property. But I think as long as you don't sit there and just boil it away, I think the best tea is made. You bring the water to a boil and then you immediately take it off and let it steep. So if you leave it in the microwave and boil, I think you can over extract the tea leaves. You're not going to overcook the tea leaves. You're going to over extract.
Yeah, you're going to stew it.
And so I think that once it comes to a boil inside the microwave, you should pull it out. And personally, I would just boil the water in the microwave, get it to a boil, set it out, and put the tea leaves directly in at boiling temperature.
Yeah,
and let
that,
it.
to me, that would make more sense than cooking the tea bag in the microwave.
But you're not going to heat the tea leaves to hotter than boiling water by submersing it in boiling water and putting it in the microwave. I don't see how you could.
Well, like you said, it's the agitation of the molecules. When you put a tea bag in boiling water, it's not agitating the molecules in the tea leaves. But if you put the tea leaves into the microwave, it will agitate the molecules in the...
It's agitating water molecules. Microwave works by reversing the polarity of the water molecules.
I know.
Well, then you can put something dry in the microwave and it will do almost nothing.
It won't be dry because it'll be in a cup of water.
Yes, and you're agitating the water. You're not affecting the tea directly. You're affecting the water.
No, you're still affecting the tea leaves because they'll have water in them now.
Yes, just like a tea leaf in a cup of boiling water from a kettle.
Well, no, you put water from a water from a boiling kettle into tea leaves. That doesn't agitate the molecules in it. It just heats it.
Those molecules are still moving because they've been agitated. The heat is still there. Heat is just the movement of the molecules.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time to stop this argument.
I think your argument is based more on emotion than on science.
How about them drones?
Yes, I totally agree there. I'm not a tea drinker, but the amount of tea drinkers that I've actually come across that have got it to they're convinced that doing it their way is better. Oh, it amazes me at times.
Hey, coffee drinkers are the same way. It is a ritual, and so we all get into our own rituals on how we make it. Some people, it's just a coffee delivery service. Some people drink coffee or caffeine delivery service. Some people drink coffee because they like creamer. I drink coffee black because I'm a purist. And I think that's the only way you should drink it. The second you add cream and sugar to coffee, you've ruined it. You've turned it into a candy bar.
Milkshake.
Yeah, I drink my coffee almost black. I just put a small amount of milk in to colour the coffee. That's it.
I'm so sweet that it gets sweetened as it passes my lips.
Oh, I never use sugar in tea or coffee. I really can't. I can't take that. I stopped doing it because I was diabetic, but if somebody gives me a cuppa with sugar in it now, it just tastes horrible.
I'm going to go catch another ship, Joe. What do you think? Should we shut it down?
Yeah, I think so, because I think I'm gonna do some stuff.
Okay. Trevor, thanks for being here.
No
Donald,
problems.
Mark, Lance, we'll see all of you again later today.
Adios.
Bye for now.
Yeah. Later.
Bye.